ought to get that on videotape. Let's set up a video camera in here.
He has a video camera in here.
No, I mean of him opening the cabinets.
He doesn't do it that much anymore.
Oh, man. You gotta get that on video. And get him.
Hard, you know, you can do it there, be close up. Forget how to do it. Exactly.
What? Oh, what's the matter, huh?
The dehumidifier is on, and they're waiting for a drink of water.
Oh man, he looked it up. He come running.
Yeah, he wants a fresh drink, huh?
It's not really fresh.
Why do they want that water, not?
I don't know, man. Him and Shadow.
What do we do with this? Like, there's some liquids in it. There's nothing. I'll take it back for the top. There you go.
Put it in recycle.
Whoa! What do you know that? That's gonna be a little cheap for somebody. There's lickings in there. All right, all set. Till next week for the rest of season 4.
And don't forget season 1 of Chasing Jobs.
Chasing
Jobs. Who's chasing the job? Oh, that's perpetual.
It's like a never-ending story.
Oh, I forgot my cake.
Boy.
Forgot his cake. He'd eat that tomorrow.
Recall.
Uh-oh. On which one?
Well, 2004 Hondas.
That's had like 6 recalls.
Truck. All right, boys.
All right, Mike.
So maybe next week.
Yep. Till then. All right. Oh, got a little chilly out here, but not too bad.
We have to put the bag on this side.
Oh, again?
Yeah.
How much shit you keep in this car? Holy
I don't know.
fuck.
I'm trying to.
Where you got it in now?
Always got stuff in here.
What, you got furniture in there?
Yeah.
So you got fog lamps you haven't installed.
I'm working on it. They're coming. Coming to a car near you. I got just put your. It's, I know. Put canned goods on the floor.
This is starting to remind me of Terry's car.
Hey, Dad, that's good stuff though. That's not garbage. It's
I see snot rags down there. That's not garbage.
well, that is okay.
All right, what the hell?
That's very careful of the
This
camera.
in. I don't want to snag that. Was this the wrappers and the 45 Applebee's you hit the other day?
Hey, you know the sign says thank a vet.
Right, and they thanked you, what, time and time again?
A couple of times.
They haven't won a couple times. The fuck is wrong with this seat?
I don't know.
It's like it's all the way forward. Not all the way forward, but
The backrest.
yeah, there we go.
I like how they opened up the 3rd episode. Mr. Banion sends some flowers.
Yeah.
Comes to the next door, some flowers, and then the 3rd door. Boom!
Mr. Banyan wants his money.
It's his money, yeah. Whap! Poof. That was good.
Yeah, they have a high attention to detail on that show. It really is.
So how do you make the shotgun blow up like that?
Pack the barrel with dirt. hell of a waste of a good gun. I mean, you could kill yourself or somebody else, but it'll do that.
Was that a Stevens or something?
Who knows? They all look the same from a distance.
Boom! Oh, I'm blind. He's sitting there laughing.
And they must be getting a lot of cooperation from the Model T Club and shit, because there's an awful lot of Model Ts on that show. I mean, 1924 Model T was the most common car on the roads of America, so at least they're paying attention to that detail. But to find so many nice ones of such variety, that's a feat in itself.
Well, it's not just these. There's a couple other cars thrown in, right?
Oh, sure, that beautiful Lincoln, the Packard, the Rolls, all of those cars are nice.
Trucks.
But the one you see the most of are Model Ts. That's what all the bad guys who Warren Thompson are driving, and all the shit being transported, except for that one chain drive Mack. The rest of them are all Model T trucks. Henry Ford pretty much still owned the streets of America in 1924. There were literally millions of Model Ts on the roads.
Do they got an exact number of each of the 1925?
Sure you do. Ford kept good records, and they all still exist. They know how many they made. I forget the exact number myself, but it was quite a few. Numbers were starting to drop by 1925, however. And by 1927, they were becoming dismal, and that's why they had to come out with the Model A. Because then competition was starting to catch up and offer modern improvements that Ford had not been offering.
When did the hand crank wiper thing go away?
That stayed around right up to about 1930, and even at the early 30s, because wipers were vacuum powered and they just were not reliable. So if you wanted wipers, it was the best way to make sure you got them was to do it by hand. But you could get away with that because cars they traveled slowly. They had flat windshields, so the rainwater tended to run right off and didn't pool up on them. And you didn't travel that much at night. You had shitty lights on those cars. You just didn't do a lot of night traveling.
In the middle of nowhere.
And this was a time when people went to bed at 9:30, or earlier. They weren't running around. There was nowhere to go anyway. I mean, where the hell are you going to go? Unless you lived in the big city where shit was always going on. Out in rural America, forget it.
Unless you're out pub crawling.
Already got Christmas lights out, I see. Well, yes, that's what you did back then. We speakeasy crawls, basically. You did your pub crawls, yes.
Not supposed to be putting up the Christmas lights until after Thanksgiving.
Yeah, well, some people jump the gun. Oh, they never take them down in the first place. All they do is go and plug them in and boom. What we got there? Fire chief, yeah. But at least now, in 1924 is when the 20s are really starting to kick.
Harold got sloppy there and didn't kill the one guy.
Well, he got tired of killing. He didn't want to kill anymore. He was home with his sister. He remembers the way he used to be before he went into the army, before he became what he was, and he wanted to try to get some of that back. But I guess he realized, oh boy, accident. Something happened.
You want to go see what happened?
No, I don't. I want to go home.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to see nobody's guts all spread out on the street, middle of the night.
Saw enough guts.
1:53 in the morning. Damn well it's not good news. Somebody's having a bad night. And this is around the time when Al Capone begins his rise. As you can see, he's already doing it.
Mueller? Is that? No, that's not me.
Rothstein. Oh, man.
300,000.
Yeah. But Lansky was the one that really carried the torch there. He learned from Rothstein, and he took what he learned, and he became a very, very successful man. Gambling was his thing. After Prohibition, it was gambling, not so much drugs. Even though they show him doing that here, he knew the money was in gambling, and he was right. He ran some very successful places in Vegas and down in Florida, and in Cuba. He had his fingers in a lot of pies down there. And he was pretty much one of the very few to make it to an old age. He was, I believe, near 90 when he died.
Banyan, how old was he?
Oh, he was not that old. He's going to be exiting the scene not too much further into the future.
Governor is back.
Yeah. I saw that coming.
I was just wondering when that motherfucker was going to show up.
Yeah. Wonder what happened to his buddies.
Yeah, right? Yeah, two of them, right?
Yeah. I guess they got eaten already.
He killed them. What are you going to do with the old college boy there?
Oh, I'm sure he gets out of it somehow. Only one guy knows what he did. And that one guy looks like he'll be easily influenced into shutting up.
So is he got to go call his dad now?
Don't know. I imagine he'll try to play it cool. After all, it couldn't be the booze. They were all drinking it. Only one guy got sick.
Well, then who provided the booze now? Because of the teacher and the dean and everybody's like, where'd this come from?
Well, yeah, they drank the evidence. It's all gone.
Well, yeah. Lucky Thompson will figure a way to bail him out. Who's that guy he was on the phone with? The guy with
The guy with the machete?
No. He only had one appearance in the last 3 episodes. Last season. You go to that.
Talking about the judge?
Last season when he walked in the room and there was a goldfish bowl. Put the 40,000 in the fish bowl.
Oh, him.
Yeah.
He was the bag man for the Attorney General.
Yeah. What's his name?
I forget. We only saw him once this season. So
Yeah, that's it. Just the one phone call.
Yeah. I'm sure he's going to have a bigger part sooner or later.
Mr. Mellon, that was Shooter McGavin.
Yeah.
What happened to him?
I forget.
Did he get arrested or something? Or
I don't remember. I lose track of some of the smaller characters. Too many of them coming and going. Which is how that trade was. You know, people came and they went. And Joe the boss too. Remains to be seen what's going to happen there.
oh, he's getting old, right?
Joe the boss?
Who was Al Capone's boss?
Oh no. That's Tony. That's the other guy. Yeah, he is getting old. I'm talking about Joe Mazzaria in New York City. There's going to be a huge gang war there.
Oh, is he the one that said, should I shake his hand?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. That's Joe the boss, but he has a rival. His rival is Salvatore Maranzano. We haven't met Maranzano yet, but we're gonna. They keep dealing with New York, so. And they're both in the booze trade, and they're both godfathers over there. You know, the two most powerful black hand godfathers in New York at that time, and they're gonna have a huge war. And the end result of that war is the formation of what became to be known as the Commission. No more no capo tutti capo shit. It's, the heads of each family sit down and they make, judgments together and everything runs smoothly that way, and all that shit. It worked for a long time. Kind of like their own little government. That fell apart in the 70s, but for a long time, that was how they ruled themselves. We're not going to see it for a while yet, because I know it culminates in 1931. So it's going to be a few years in the future. But I'm surprised they haven't introduced Maranzano yet. Because
They'll show up.
And Bonanno. Joe Bonanno was also coming on the scene at this time, under Maranzano. And Joe Kennedy. When you talk about smuggling booze on the East Coast or anywhere else, Joe Kennedy's the name, It should be there. That's how the family fortune was made.
Late 50s, early 60s, what was wrong with one of the sisters? She got lobotomized?
Who?
The Kennedys.
No, I would not know. I never made a study of the Kennedy clan.
Yeah, one of the sisters there. She was
That would be a highly unusual move for someone of so high profile from such a wealthy family, especially in the 50s. That was kind of out of favor by the 50s. Lobotomies is something that's more common to the 1920s and 30s and earlier.
That's what they did with her.
Very wealthy families could simply afford to have you locked up forever in some institution in a padded cell. They didn't have you cut up. They just paid someone to keep you locked up, that's all. Crazy Aunt so-and-so we don't talk about, that kind of shit.
That was one of the sisters. No, it was one of the daughters, I think.
I really don't know.
The tragedy with that family.
Well, it was visited back upon them, I guess, Think of the tragedy that Joe had a part in of one type or another, and it came back on him.
What happened to the kid, JFK Jr.? He died in a plane crash or something?
Yeah. John? Yeah, he died. He crashed his plane. He thought he was an ace pilot who could instrument fly at night in bad weather, and well, he found out he wasn't. Killed his sister-in-law, killed himself, killed his, or the woman who would have been his sister-in-law, the woman who would have been his wife, his girlfriend, whatever, and himself. I wouldn't have another full story on that one either. Not in our lifetimes, anyway. 100 years from now, yeah, it'll be known. Every last little detail they don't want us to know about it, it'll be out there. Assuming we're still here. Or there's anybody here still here to care, And by that point, it's probably just going to be a few academics and just, historian types and history buffs that pay any attention to it at all. People will say, "Who's Kennedy? Wasn't he? He was like one of the old American presidents in the 20th century, wasn't he? Wasn't he something like that? Long, long time ago. What did he do?
Got some people now, illiterates, teenage kids don't know nothing.
Well, the irony of it is, if he hadn't been assassinated, Kennedy probably would have been a fairly mediocre president. He did not have a very good track record up to the time of his assassination. The bad pigs he may have inherited from Ike, but it turned out to be an unmitigated disaster. He kind of fumbled his way into the Cuban Missile Crisis and fumbled his way out of it. Although we were probably very lucky that we did have him in there, Kennedy had difficulty making decisions. He liked to put off making decisions as long as possible. And during the Cuban Missile Crisis, when tensions were very, very high, because of this trait of his, of not making snap decisions, sitting there and just taking forever and waffling on shit, we did not invade Cuba, which would have led to nuclear war for absolute certainty, because we did not have all the information. We did not know they had an operational nuclear weapon down there. We did not know they had 40,000 troops, thought they had 12. So it would have been a really, really serious blunder had that happened. Now, I was watching a program, I think it was a couple weeks ago, it was about an assassination attempt that almost worked, came very close to working against Kennedy in 1960 when he was still president-elect. Down in Florida, a crazy nut tried to blow him up. But at the last minute, the nut, who was going to be his own suicide bomber and do the job that way, saw Kennedy come out of his house with his family. While he had no problem blowing up Kennedy, he did have a problem blowing up the wife and kids. So he didn't do it. He ended up getting caught. They found the bomb, blah, blah, so on and so forth. He just became a footnote in history. But had he actually killed Kennedy in 1960, Lyndon Johnson would have assumed the presidency. From Eisenhower. And had that happened, now Lyndon Johnson had a totally different style of governing. Lyndon Johnson believed in making quick decisions, decisive. He liked people to agree with him. He didn't brook too much argument against what he wanted. And that was his style. We saw some of this during the Tonkin Gulf incident that led to Vietnam. Now, if he had been in the White House in 1962, who knows what might have happened. When they came to him and said, Mr. President, we need to invade Cuba because they got missiles down there, he very likely would have okayed it. Airstrikes, everything else, and probably led to World War III. At least that was the conclusion of that show. But on the other hand, they really didn't address the fact of, would Khrushchev have okayed sending nuclear missiles to Cuba with Lyndon Johnson in the White House? Khrushchev thought Kennedy was weak and indecisive, which in some ways he was. He was young, inexperienced. That was the impression Khrushchev got of him on their one meeting prior to the Cuban Missile Crisis. Johnson, on the other hand, he might have been afraid of. Enough to be more cautious and not do that. So there might never have been a Cuban Missile Crisis had Johnson been in the White House in 62. Yet on the other hand, had Kennedy been reelected in 64 and Johnson never made to the White House, or been defeated by a Republican and Johnson didn't, never got to be vice president again.
Second term.
Kennedy?
Yeah, sure he would have.
No, probably not. You forget. You see Kennedy today as the martyred president, not as the Kennedy president as he was before he was shot. People were not particularly happy with his performance, and it wasn't just because he was Catholic and Irish or any of that shit. He really hadn't shined. He kind of was like Barack Obama in some ways. He'd made a lot of promises, and he kind of hadn't lived up to them. So there would have been contenders. I mean, Dick Nixon nearly did beat him in 1960. Very, very nearly did. And now he might have had a chance to do that in 1964. And not Nixon, but there were other contenders as well. Barry Goldwater and a few other ones might very well have been able to use Kennedy's mistakes in the first term against him, especially the bad pigs, and beat him, keeping Johnson away from... Now, Johnson, if he hadn't been vice president that catapulted to the presidency and been able to run for president from the White House, probably would never have made president on his own. Which means we may very well not have become as involved in Vietnam as we did because of Johnson's decisions. Had somebody else been in the White House, either Kennedy or a Republican challenger who was successful in beating him. And how that would have changed American history. The 60s would have been very different for this country, and these decades that came after, had we not become as heavily involved in Vietnam, or had become not involved at all. Pulled our troops out early, all that shit. I mean, we had enough reasons to withdraw support, even before Kennedy was shot. And Kennedy was not real keen on continuing support for Vietnam because of what was going on over there. There was a coup. First you had a dictator, then you had a coup. There was a lot of shit going on. Wow, we got a fog here. Look at this.
Yeah, I got my fog lights. Well,
in the back seat. Yeah, they help.
Yeah,
they do real good back there. Who knows? You can what if forever, but we had to play the hand we were dealt, you know? Somehow we managed to stumble through all the years of the nuclear Cold War without blowing the shit out of the whole fucking world. Even though we came so close time and time and time
Never
again.
knew it until,
Well, the public never knew it.
yeah.
The men in charge knew it, you know. Sometimes it was by mistake, misunderstanding, or somebody's deliberate action that went a little too far. But somehow we made it so far. Now, people seem to conveniently forget that the world is still filled with thousands and thousands of nuclear warheads. Thousands. We have them. The Russians have them. Half a dozen rogue nations have them. You know? So there's always the chance that while we made it through the Cold War, we may still obliterate ourselves with a nuclear Armageddon.
Well, they ended up nuking themselves over there in Chernobyl.
Yeah, they did. And they nuked us too, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
You know, we did not get out of that unscathed.
I like the two guys fishing on the side of the river there watching the show.
Yeah, they didn't know.
And they just watched the blue, pretty purple lights,
Yeah.
yellow and white lights all
The glowing dust settled all over them. Oh,
night
yeah.
until dawn, until they...
Yeah.
wonder why the fish aren't biting. I like how the guy... open the window, let's get a better picture. Gee, a funny metallic taste. Yeah.
And somehow he managed to get through all that, but as long as there are thousands of nukes in the world, the possibility is always there. And people say, well, the Russians don't have, nuclear weapons pointed at us. But no, they don't have to. They have the same type of nuclear systems we do. The codes are all stored in there. All you do is select the target. It's not necessarily the missile is pointed at somebody.
Yeah.
It's waiting for its orders. And those orders are still there. The target selections are still there. New York, Chicago, Washington, D.C., blah, blah, blah. Just like they are for Kiev and Moscow and everything else over there. We don't have to point nuclear weapons at people. It's all in the computer. We select the scenario, how we're going to use them, according to the situation.
Movie, Armageddon, where Steve Buscemi was saying, so what did you do? And his uncle or something?
Yeah, he made the guidance systems for the
Yeah.
nuclear warheads in
Yeah.
Chicago, New York, boom, boom, boom.
Ooh.
Yeah. Uncle was genius of the family.
Oh, God.
People worry about North Korea and Iran with the fucking bomb. It's not so much having a bomb, it's the ability to deliver it that matters. Worry about the ICBMs they build next, if they don't have them already.
So I guess North Korea shut up for a little while.
No. When they're quiet, that's when you really got to worry. They're only quiet when they're up to shit, And then when they want to tell you about the shit, that's when you'll hear the noise.
Motherfuckers try to counterfeit our new $100 bills. That's why they were a couple of years late.
Yeah.
Flooded Europe with them, and so we didn't release them, and they got all mad. How dare you not put out the real thing so we can't counterfeit? That's why they ended up with a computer stripping them,
Yeah,
or a reflector strip, or whatever.
I know. I have one in my wallet right now.
Set them back, some money. Kind of fucked up their economy for a little bit. They'll never admit it, though.
Sure. Not that they have much of an economy.
Damn. Boy, it's foggy.
Yeah.
I'm going to slow down a little bit now.
Yeah, this is a good place to meet Bambi.
Yeah.
Poor Chicky stumbling home after a night of pub crawling himself.
Oh, I forgot about him. Well, everybody says he's walking around, so...
Well, he's not in jail anyway, that's good.
Yeah, he's waiting trial.
Could be, I don't know.
Because I thought if you can't pay all those fines...
I don't really know how to do it. They probably just took away his driving privileges for life, and that's it. Not that that matters, they just get in the fucking car and drive anyway, and then you throw them in jail.
Yeah.
You know, that's what happens.
It's funny, and freaking 2 or 3 weeks later, he was in with somebody else that got a DUI.
Yeah, at least he was smart enough not to be driving that time.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
He was driving? Oh shit.
Well, they locked up again. Problem is, you know, a lot of times they let shit like that slip through the cracks if nobody actually dies. You know, that's the whole thing.
And then when they finally do kill somebody, it's on record that he's got freaking half a dozen DUIs, which he has.
Yeah.
You know. And that's the times that he got caught.
Yeah. That's true. They say, I think it was Mike who told me, somebody did, the average drunk driver drives 80 times or more before they're actually caught. And they get away with it, and get away with it, and get away with it. Finally, sooner or later, they get picked up. But a lot of times, those crimes don't get thoroughly prosecuted because the system is stretched to the fucking limit. Our prisons are full of drug cases and shit and everything else. And they're more worried about locking up people that actually killed somebody or did a violent crime of some kind. So they tend to look the other way. Not look the other way, but... You know, they'll give a lesser fucking punishment. Okay, we're going to take your license away. You can't drive anymore. Go get out of
like
here.
Billy up in Foxwoods.
Well, they didn't take his license away. That was cocaine. So, yeah. They don't want to bother with the petty shit. That's what they view it as. Never mind that these people may, once they're freed, go off and kill somebody, you know, with a car or however, because they're drunk or they're high, you know. Then they'll worry about it. Okay, you finally killed somebody this time. Now we can give you 5-10 years. Cool your heels upstate and then think about it a little bit, you know.
See how that light was waiting for me?
Yes, it was. So he'll let you go. Watch out for Bambi here too. They love the golf course. Lots of good munchies there.
It's the best grass.
Yeah. Brave the light?
Oh yeah, no, this light's fixed. It's not, but that one's the problem now. So that was green. It just waited for me to come around the corner.
Always one out to get you.
Yep.
They poured the foundation.
Oh yeah.
Yes, they did. Poured the
Place for to have good food, ruining that freaking nice property, you know.
Better for the money he paid to put this damn thing up. He better make a profit from it. If I ain't got good food, it's not gonna.
It's a shame, you know.
Yeah, well.
All right, you fucking light. There you go.
Look at that. There you go.
That's working.
Skated on it again. Yeah.
That other light that's it's not a, I think it's on a timer.
Maybe they're just taking turns. Come on, you got to fuck with him last month. It's my turn. Come on. All right.
Tiger going to be in your trailer for the winter?
When he wants to come in.
You don't want to be out in the snow, does he?
Not so much the snow, but this time of year he's still out. Even during the day he likes to go out. He doesn't like to be trapped inside. Definitely likes to be outside killing stuff. And he's a hunter too. You'll see him all over the yard. Up here anyway. Creeping around after us furry little things. Dissecting them when he's done.
Alright, I should be around next week.
Alright, Scott. Till then.
Boy, what a surprise. HBO.
Yeah. Well, he only has it free for 6 months.
Oh, only 6 months.
Only 6
Oh,
months.
nice.
So we got to see this and get it done, and that'd be it. I don't really think there's much else on HBO we'd be interested in watching, to tell you the truth. Not that I'm aware of, anyway.
I don't know.
Most of it's fruity crap we won't want to see anyway. All right, check that out.